In this video, we'll test our Logstash configuration. So to start, I want you to go back to our Logstash configuration file from earlier. Here, we had added a syncdb. Since we won't be using syncdb for our test, I want you to remove it, so your input will look like this. It's simpler and cleaner. Second change, I'll ask you, Nick. Here, we had used a parameter called SSL, but in the latest versions of Logstash, this parameter has been changed to SSL enabled. So you replace SSL with this value, SSL_abled. All right? Good. So with that done, save your configuration file. Now I want you to go to the samples folder where we have the test files. Instead of testing all the files we have at once, I want you to test just one file. So take the other 9 files and move them out of this folder. You can create a folder and call it backup, just like I did here. You'll put the remaining 9 files inside it. So now our samples folder contains only one file that we'll be testing. Very good. Now I'll go back to the main Logstash folder. Now in the resources for this video, you have a file called Elasticsearch index template. I want you to open that file. In my case, I have it somewhere around here. This file is an Elasticsearch configuration. Here, we specify to Elasticsearch the different fields we'll be sending and the type of each field. That's all we're doing here. For example, we tell it that the order status is a keyword. For example, we tell it that the quantity is an integer. We tell it that the unit price is a flown. What we're doing here is mathins. I want you to start your Elasticsearch instance in your Kibana instance. I've already started the Elasticsearch instance, and I also have Kibana running. You'll copy this query and we'll go run it in Kibana. Once you're in the Kibana interface, which looks like this, click on the 3 dots here. Go to Stack Management. Scroll down and click on the 3 dots that appear there. In Management. In the Management section, click on Dev Tools. Delete everything that's there and paste the query we just copied. Right here. You'll run this query by clicking on this little icon here. Good, there you go. We've just created the mapping for our index. Now, I want you to exit from here. Go back to Stack Management, and this time go to Index Management. Here in Index Management, you can clearly see that you don't have any data yet. We don't have an index. We don't have any data here in Elasticsearch. Now we'll start Logstash so it can send data to our Elasticsearch cluster. To do that, go to the folder where you installed Logstash and open a terminal. To start Logstash, you'll run bin/logstash like this. You'll add f and specify where your configuration file is located. Your configuration file is in the config folder like this, and it's called Logstash. We named it Logstash ecommerce. Config like this. Now you'll run the command to launch and start Logstash. We'll wait and see if there are any errors in Logstash. We wait to see the result in the console if everything goes well. If there's no error? If Logstash doesn't show any errors, we'll go to Kibana and check. We actually have data coming in and an index has been created. When you look at your configuration file here in the output, we told Logstash to send the data to an index called e-commerce sales. So we'll wait and see if there are any errors in Logstash. You can see it clearly. There are no errors in the Logstash console, everything is fine. Now go back to Kibana and here in Index Management, reload the indexes. Here you clearly see that our e-commerce sales index appears here. It contains 10 documents. When you open, come back to samples here and you open the file we tested. You'll see that the file contains exactly 10 documents. 10 documents that are there. 10 sales. Good. So Logstash transformed the data and sent them to Elasticsearch, quite simply. To verify all this and really see the power of Logstash working automatically, you'll go to the backup folder and take the 9 remaining files. And you'll move them to the samples folder. That's the folder where Logstash listens. So we drop them there. And now we go back to Kibana and you reload the indexes. You can clearly see we had 10 documents here. We wait a bit to see what happens. You see it here, now we have 115 documents. What does that mean? Logstash automatically processed all the new files we put in the folder. That's the power of Logstash. Once it's set up, it works automatically. Every time we have data at the source, Logstash picks it up, processes it, transforms it, and stores it at the destination. So here, our Logstash pipeline is up and running. It transforms the data every day that the system generates sales files. Logstash will process them and send them to Elasticsearch.